Okay, welcome back once again. One of the things I'm about to show you, it's kind of like Christmas in July, except it's not really Christmas and it's already August. But one of them is our new Gravely ZT HD 52-inch cut mower. So I put about 2.5 hours on it yesterday. I purposely went into some stuff that I would not ordinarily go into with, I'll go ahead and say it up front. This thing, by the time you get it and pay the taxes and everything else on it, it's going to cost you, not north of $6,000, but it's bumping the devil out of the bottom of $6,000. So these are not cheap mowers. This is the top of the line residential grade, I guess, that Gravely puts out. Kawasaki engine, which is a commercial grade engine. The chassis you can see is welded. Nothing on this thing is bolted on. It's welded. One of the things I really like about it, your oil drain. It's got the, you can put these on any mower you want, but it's just a nice touch that this comes with it so that you can undo this plug here and drain your oil out and not have to mess with, as big a mess. 22-inch tires on the back. I really like the flap here. It sits up by itself, so you're not. I did it. I'm sure a lot of you have done it. You strap that daggum thing up with bungee cords, but this one stays up on its own, or you can drop it down. So that works real well. If you look at how this thing's put together, it's built like a freaking tank. And I haven't cleaned it up since I mowed with it yesterday. But look at the casters. They're protected on both sides. It's not just a bolt sticking through here with a wheel stuck to the end of it. 13-inch swivel front tires. Good size bearings. I can't even reach all the way around this axle. So that's, professional grade stuff here. It's just, you're not, I can stand on this deck and it doesn't even budge, and I'm almost 170 pounds. The adjustment for your deck height is good. It's foot assisted. You put your foot on here and press down. You can pull this pin out right here. I've got it set at 4 inches right now, but it goes from 1.5 inches up to 5 inches for your cutting depth. It's got many more anti-scalp wheels on the mower deck than most things have. It had one over there. It's got two here. It's got another one over here. Everything about this thing is heavy duty, professional grade. It's got a professional grade not sealed transmission, but serviceable transmission. The Kawasaki engine that's on this one, they also come, I believe, with Honda engines or Kohler engines. But this is the one that my local dealer carried, which is the Kawasaki. It's got a better reputation as far as the commercial aspects go. So it's a commercial grade engine, commercial grade transmission, commercial grade frame, commercial grade mower deck. It's as top of the line as you're going to get in a homeowner model mower. I'll put it that way. Easy access. Here's your access for the hydraulics on the drive. It takes, I think it's 15 weight. I'd have to go look at the manual again. 15 weight 30, or maybe, I think it's 15 weight 30 fluid. I'm not quite sure. Your gas tank sits here. 5-gallon capacity gas tank. Your battery's over there. Park brake, pretty self-explanatory. Your fuel filters. They say it's got isolation mounts on the seat. Um, I'm here to tell you it didn't isolate me from a whole lot of bumps and, and jostles yesterday, but I guess theoretically, if you look, it does have these little kind of hard rubber mounts here in the front and the back. Now they do offer a suspension seat that you can dial in your weight, and it's supposed to be much better. However, I did not opt for that. Feel free to do so if you like. The controls are laid out. I mean, it's pretty daggum self-explanatory. Start the throttle, the choke, the blade, PTO engagement is electric. What else about this? Oh, the spindles on this thing are not your big box store spindles. These things, and I like how that sits up. It gives you easy access to your belts and everything else. The belts, speaking of them, are 5/8 inch belts. They're not the little 1/2 inch cheap ones that come on the big box store mowers. Even if you buy a name brand, a Cub Cadet or a John Deere or something else from the big box stores, number one, they've been put together out of the box by a big box store employee, and they may or may not know what the devil they're doing when they're putting your mower together, so you're apt to have issues. Or if your dealer is not a very reputable dealer or a good dealer, you're probably going to have issues with this thing. I mean, just like you would with anything that's been put together wrong and you go out and try and use it. But easy to get to your belts, easy to get to your spindles. This thing, I put it through the paces yesterday, like I said, for about 2.5 hours. And it seems thus far to be bulletproof. Of course, I'll give updates as that, and I won't hesitate to tell you if something starts sucking on this, because I'd hate to see somebody else make a over $5,000 mistake on a mower. I like the these are stiff. They're in here good. The only thing you have to do is drop this. The whole thing doesn't articulate like that, and that actually is makes it a lot easier when you're trying to do straight lines and stuff when you're mowing. I don't know if I said it's a 5-gallon gas tank. I don't know how much I used yesterday. Well, let's just take, well, it's on a little bit of a slope, but you can see your gas level here on this if the sun is right. I can't really tell. It looks like it's way up here, and it might be, but I'm sure I used a lot of gas yesterday in the 2.5 hours I was running it. So let me take you real quick and show you where I was running it, so you can get an idea of what you're getting into. Oh, another nice thing. I mean, they thought this out. There's one of these on each side, and you can pull this entire section off, have easy access to the back of the engine for maintenance, anything else. Fuel filter, your air filter, you just pop it up right there, easy to change out. No muss, no fuss, easy to get to. So far, I've been impressed with it. The cut quality's been good. We haven't really sown grass seed out here yet, and most of this is just wild native stuff that you see growing here. And it did a bang-up job on it yesterday. We get some real grass seed sown this fall and get this yard smoothed up a bit. Hopefully it will be a lot better. But like I said, it does ride rough as a cob, and if you want a smooth ride, you best either have a smooth lawn or go ahead and spring for the extra bucks and get that suspension seat option and add to it. Let me show you something here as I sit in the operator's seat. This is how you can raise and adjust your deck. It's got a lock-up position. You push it all the way in, and your deck will actually lock in the highest or the transport position. All you got to do is put a little pressure on it with your foot. Flip this little lever right here, and of course the deck drops down to wherever you've got the pin set. Setting the height of this thing is simple as mud. I mean, you lock the deck up, you pull your pin out. If you want to mow at 3.5 inches, you drop it in the 3.5 inch slot. Put the lever back, drop your deck down. Now you're sitting at 3.5 inches to mow. It makes it easy to adjust on the go if you're doing your yard and you want your yard at 4 inches and you got some rougher stuff and you know you want to save your blades a little bit and you want to bump it up to 5 inches. You know, it takes 10 seconds to change, and you're not guessing at it, and you're not playing with levers over here. And another thing this deck does, you can float the deck with your foot. See how that's floating up and down? If you come into a spot in your yard that you habitually scalp, or you know there's a big honking rock there that's going to ding up your blades, you can push and raise this up just until you get over that area and then drop it back down. And you know, most of the professional grade mowers have that feature. Like I said, this also has it. The spindles on this thing are gigantic. You know, you don't have these little itty bitty, you know, 1/4 inch diameter spindles that you got to replace every 2 or 3 years on your big box store mowers. And, you know, you pay a lot of money for one of these things, but one of the reasons you do that is so you don't have to screw around with working on these things after you've been using them 2 or 3 years. You know, the maintenance becomes constant on one of those. I don't care what kind of engine it's got, but just the sheer fact that it's a bolted together frame. And you know, I give an example. The hangers on this mower, I mean, like I said, I go 165, 170 pounds depending on what my wife's been cooking, and you know this thing's solid as a brick. I mean, look at these hangers, and most of the hangers, your deck hangers, are not nearly that robust. So you get what you pay for. It's kind of easy to crank. Parking brakes on. It doesn't have a release or anything. You just push it down. But you gotta have the brake on, sitting in the seat. Here's the choke if you need it. Your throttle, we'll give it a little gas. The blades are off. There we go. Okay, this is the stuff that I normally go into with the bush hog, but I went into this yesterday because I was already familiar with the terrain. I knew I didn't have any rocks or stumps or sticks or anything else that were going to tear my mower up, and I just wanted to see how it was going to do on some of these slopes and hills. And you know, I put it on side hill lies. This is probably one of the steepest areas right here. You probably can't see that on camera, but it worked fine. It runs better than my old Husqvarna did. It handled the slopes better than my old John Deere lawn tractor did. And it mowed over this stuff. There was never any worry about turning over or anything else. Well, there goes the Brittany, and then here comes the English setter. So let's see what they dig up out of here. Well, they're off for something. But at any rate, this is the type of stuff that I used it on. Don't take your $6,000 lawnmower and use it like a daggum bush hog. I saw a video on YouTube, some idiot doing that. You know, there's cheaper ways to do it than tearing up a $6,000 mower. It might take a little bit of work, like in putting a cutter blade or something on a $200 weed eater. But you know, if you don't abuse your equipment, when it breaks on you, you get what you deserve, in my opinion. Thus far, the Gravely ZTHD, you know, it's a good looking mower, but I really don't care about what it looks like. I just want to know how it's going to work and run and the longevity of it. I will say that they have the highest rating of any of the other zero-turn motors on, or mowers on Consumer Reports. This thing was built in America. Support American manufacturing and American workers. But hit the like, hit the subscribe. Be sure and hit the notifications. If you've got any experience with one of these ZTHD Gravely mowers, feel free to leave the comments below, because we're just kind of here to educate one another and see where we get the biggest bang for our buck. Other than that, have a good day. Bye.